You're watching Griffin Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Easley and Ryan Menley.
Hello and welcome. New week, same ranking, same result, Brett Easley.
I'd take that result this week too, wouldn't you? Griffin football remains at number 6 in the nation in this week's AFCA Division II poll. They'll try to run their record to a perfect 3-0 this week in Nebraska-Kearney.
Yeah, the journey to 2-0 last week, very impressive, very dominating, and a win coming at the expense of a former Griffin.
Wild and crazy night for a home opener. Tailgating galore. You know they allow alcohol at these things now. Practice moderately. Inside the stadium, great crowd on hand to see Missouri Western football take on Missouri S&T, led by former Griffin offensive coordinator Tyler Fenwick. Fenwick, the architect of some of the greatest Griffin offenses in school history, but it was an unkind return. Pick it up early first quarter, Griffin D setting the tone for the entire night. Mark Harris picks off minor quarterback Reed Brown.
We know we needed some momentum and everything, and everybody was just like, make a play before we went out there. And it just happened to be tossed up, and I caught it.
That leads to this. Travis Partridge pulls it, keeps it, scores it. 11-yard touchdown run, Griff's up 7-0. Into the quarter, Raphael Spencer. He's very fast. 30 yards to the house. Spencer, 11 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. 14-0 now. It's a 21-0 game midway through the second quarter, and then it gets blown open. Mackenzie Wishman blocks the punt. Darian Bass scoops it up. The little brother of David Bass has his first career touchdown. Griffins go to halftime with a 35-3 lead. Spratt Stadium is rocking. Western ran wild for 331 yards on the ground Saturday, but the air attack effective too. Third quarter, Travis Partridge hooks up with D. Tolliver, his first career touchdown catch. It's now a 42-3 game. Everything just went right for Western, even when it went wrong. Watch punter Scott Groner. This might be the play of the night. The kicking coach doesn't teach this.
So, Scott, what was going through your head on that miraculous play that you made?
Punt, run, punt.
Well, you definitely gave me a few more gray hairs and a small heart attack.
It winds up being a 58-yard punt. Fourth quarter, the backups to the backups to the backups are in. Trey Brown, goodbye. 59 yards and gone. This game out of hand. The Griffins drop the hammer on Missouri S&T. 63-3 the final. Western moved to 2-0 on the season. A dominating performance and a bittersweet victory over an old friend.
We ran the ball well. We got to protect the quarterback a little better, but they had some great design blitzes. They did a good job of that. Tyler did a good job early of just moving the football and creating some things and making some things happen offensively. I scored it up that way, but we just ran the ball pretty well at the end. So
the line opened it up for us. Travis did a good job just reading off the D-line, what they had going for them, and we just executed all week. We was talking about executing, and that's what we did.
Our running game isn't going to take a drop off. It's just not. Our backs are too good, and our schemes are too good, and I think that we're going to keep our stuff out. I mean, the O-line's young in the pass protection-wise, and they're young in the run protection-wise too, so they're going to keep getting better, and I think we have weapons.
With his first career catch and his first career touchdown.
And joining us now, head coach Jerry Partridge. That one got out of hand quickly.
I think it got out of hand late second quarter, really. I think they hung in there for a quarter. I think defensively they did some nice things, pressure-wise, coverage-wise, covered well. They didn't move the ball very well except for the one post route that we let open. That was only gained over 20 yards. Shot ourselves off foot a little bit with the special teams penalties and a little bit with protection. But I thought the 2-minute drive right before the half was a key item that really knocked it through. And then second half came out and just finished it off.
Got this question a lot headed into the year. Who's going to replace Michael Hill? We know we got a lot of capable candidates back there, but Raphael Spencer's really stepped up. 200 yards in the first 2 games, 3 touchdowns. Started as a by-committee thing, but he had the ball carries this week.
Special ball carrier, no doubt, and he's doing the little things right to become a complete back. He pass protected well. Assignment-wise, he was right. Caught a football, a nice little wheel route. Travis checked down to him on a second read, and the other guys are capable of doing that too, though. I mean, Dom, I'm not saying it just to keep people happy. I mean, Dom Thomas is very capable of doing that too, and so is Dalton Kreisa. had a concussion last week, and he was clear to play, but didn't practice a lot. So you'll see more of him. And then I think our kids run block well. I think they do a great job of run blocking, and we can always improve. But I think that is this O-line's strength.
Raphael Spencer, a different back though than Michael Hill, obviously, just more lightning than thunder.
Well, he's strong too, but yeah, Mike is. Mike, he had his quickness and his speed things too, but when Mike had a guy in front of him and he'd made all the moves he's going to make, he was going to truck him, and definitely his stiff arm was a gigantic weapon. Rob is more electric, and he's got a little stop and go stuff and stutter, and like he did the other day, he kind of stalled out and then took off running. So we felt like last year, I said in the post game, Raphael probably just sheer ball carrier was the best back in our league as far as just carrying the ball, making people miss. We felt that last year. Now that's there's a lot of good backs in our league, but I still think Raphael is that guy this year too.
Are you better defensively than you were last year?
Potentially we can be. It's hard to say that with the stars we lost, with Peaster and Bass and some of the guys that were depth guys, and then Shane Simpson, but and Ben Jackson. But we have a chance to be just as good, that's for sure. Just as good, it'll make us a good football team.
We saw it in the highlights. Your special teams were also special the other night. But one of this was a SportsCenter top 10. The Groner punt that he basically bobbles. I don't know if it was a low snap or he just bobbled it and then shakes off 3 minors and still gets it away. That's pretty impressive.
I'm not sure where we rank in the nation as far as net punt, but it's got to be pretty good. I think our net punt the other day was 43-something. And usually most people's goal with net punt's 35 or 6. And he's a great punter. And then he somehow got it out and kicked it, and it was an unbelievable punt that squirrels around down there inside the 5.
He's from Australia, and he really, up until playing 2 years ago, knew nothing about football, admittedly. And does he still know anything about football? Because most punters would just freak out when something like that
I think
happened.
he knows more. He understands it. Jay claims his very first punt, the very first punt of his career, if you remember, was returned for a touchdown by John Brown in Pittsburgh. And he didn't make the play, but he did ask Jay after that play, supposedly. Now, he denies it. Jay is adamant. He said, it is legal for me to tackle him, is it not? And so I'm not sure that really happened or not. But you talked about special teams around. We made a lot of great things happen. We've got a great core group of special teams kids that really cover kicks and block well. You'll see the return game get better and better, especially punt return. Crockham is really good, so is Libby. The thing that's concerning a little bit is just the penalties in the kicking game. We had 7 special teams penalties in the first half alone, and that stuff has to quit.
Speaking of the kicking game, and John Schmiemeyer did kick the ball better last week, but Taylor Anderson, I believe, also cleared to begin kind of working out. When do you expect him back?
Well, potentially this Saturday, but Schmie had a good day. He kicked the ball off, had a couple touchbacks.
Just missed 55-yarder, just missed it.
By that much. And he did well. I was pleased for him. I was happy for him. He had a good day. Taylor obviously was a very good kicker last year for us, and he was cleared to do. I think he took mainly dry swings, not kicking a football. And I think Blaze Crowley feels like we might be able to have him kick extra points or short field goals this week. We'll see. But obviously, based on Schmie's performance last week, maybe there's not as big a sense of urgency.
You ready to go to Kearney this week?
Yeah, I got a few practices to get in, but I kind of enjoy. I kind of enjoy road trips. I think it's good to get away on a bus and just kind of get with the team a little bit. It's team bonding, watch some movies, and kind of relax at a hotel.
That was really meant to be a hypothetical question. But
he's always ready with an answer.
Well, so, Kearney USA.
It's not Kearney America.
We'll talk more about Kearney America when GSI comes back after the break.
Sometimes I wonder if Elvis had hip pain. And if he did, I know I could have fixed it. And if I did, he'd still be alive today.
We're a spine and sport, and unfortunately I tore my ACL. It's unique in the way that they don't just fix the problem that you have, they fix the problem that caused the problem that you have. Fred's very knowledgeable about the entire injury and all the causes and things you can do right now to prevent it from happening in the future. The SwimX is a very unique piece of equipment, and this is the only place in St. Joe that has one. And so that was specifically why I sought Spine and Sport out. And in there you can do pretty much everything you can't do on land, because you don't have your full body weight. So you're allowed to jump, you're allowed to run, you're allowed to do presses and kick your legs and do things to strengthen all your muscles that you wouldn't normally be able to do on land with all your body weight. I would recommend Spine and Sport to anybody from your average athlete to your professional athlete to someone who's just been injured and even a car wreck and needs to get healthy.
(2-0) Griffin football heads north to Kearney, Nebraska Saturday for an MIAA showdown with the Lopers of Nebraska-Kearney. Last time these two teams hooked up was week 3 of last year. The Griffins overcame a slow start to cruise to a 38-14 victory here in St. Joe. Predictions? Big Bo always knows how these games will go.
Stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em. Stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em. Gonna put the beat.
Well, the fan mail just keeps rolling in. Another award-winning edition of Beatbox with Bo. This week, Griffins head north. It's the Griffins and Nebraska-Kearney Lopers. Griff successful last year. Bo, what's it going to be up in Nebraska this week?
No playing around this weekend. I get right to it. Griffins roll 93-7.
93-7. I mean, this is a road game. Nebraska-Kearney's going to be fired up, huh? 93-7.
Total pain.
You know, you always talk about, bulletin board material. It's really hard for anybody to take him seriously when he has those scores like that.
But he's right quite a bit, though. He's been right quite a bit, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever been right.
Close.
Those scores are astronomical. So you fed a monster that continues to get bigger.
Well, he does study tickets too.
Yes.
We had to give him season tickets.
Well, I was the one that stepped in and got that done. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Brett Easley was very gracious and said yes.
Thanks, Bo.
You and Nebraska-Kearney meet each other.
Talent.
You bet.
Yes, you do. You and Nebraska-Kearney take on each other this year. Same records last year when you met. You were 2-0 when you took them on. They were 0-2. Same thing as this year. They were 3-8 a year ago. Went through about 12 quarterbacks. Actually,
at
7.
Least 12.
7.
I think it was 7. I think they had their 7th quarterback.
Yeah. Well, quarterback this season, Bronson Marsh, transfer from the University of Nebraska, and they are throwing the ball a lot early.
Well, I think part of it is I think they still want to run the football, but I think part of it is they've been down early in games. The turnovers are the biggest problem with them right now. They're not very penalized, but they got 5 penalties total. We doubled that last week, but they're turning the football over a little bit. I think it's getting them in holes. I think they've faced pretty good offenses so far. Washburn's offense and Porter's offense are good offenses, and so they get in early holes and got to throw the ball a little bit. I'm concerned about. I don't like playing teams that haven't won. It always bothers me a little bit because they're a little bit more desperate and a little bit more hungry. And I would just assume they won one of those games. It is a 3:00 start, which is a pretty unique start. We'll get their best shot, no doubt about it. And any kind of win is going to be a good enough win. We'll go up there.
One thing we didn't talk about in the first segment, we talked Nebraska-Kearney quarterbacks. Talk about our passing game a little bit. Again, I know week 1 it seemed like the drops. Last week kind of came along a little bit. Just talk about what you see there.
Caught the ball better. I think, honestly, you look at the passing stats, you'd think, well, Travis didn't have a good game, but he did really threw the ball really well when he had a chance to throw it. He had some nice balls, really nice balls, and he did a good job. Sometimes those scrambles, they should probably be part of passing yards, to be honest with you, because things that the other team does to take away a pass sets it up where a guy can run and do some things. But we have to protect better and get our quarterback hit less, no doubt. And we're getting better. We're getting better there. And like I said, the strength of this O-line is the run blocking. I think at this moment their weakness, and I'm talking about as a general group. They need to pass pro a little better, and I think they will as the year goes on.
This is going to be a team that improves every week, I think, just with the youth that's
so.
on there.
Yep.
And what needs to improve this week? What's the next logical step?
Cut out the penalties. That's the biggest thing. I think those are our biggest concerns, is pass protection and special teams penalties. But you know what? A season is so full of ebb and flow that we'll be talking about something else next week that's the negative, and we'll talk about how those things got corrected. So as long as this football team can stay healthy at some real key spots, I think it'll be a good team. I'm excited about the youth. I'm excited about just kind of the everyman type of player we have. There's a lot of those kind of kids that run and do the little things right, and just do the core jobs. And if we continue to play the way we're playing, we'll be a good football team.
Somebody on Twitter called it a harvest of youth.
Harvest of youth.
It was interesting.
There's a lot of good young football players. And like I said to me luncheon, our top line kids, the experienced kids that won a lot of games for us and are great players. But there's a lot of youth that is exciting to watch because you can see that we're going to be okay as it goes on.
Well, speaking of
there's
harvest,
another harvest that I know you're excited about. It's our tantalizing trio.
That's all
you can eat shrimp this week.
Great.
Your choice of scampi or fried shrimp or broiled, whatever you'd like to have.
Fried.
Likes fried.
Is that one of the questions?
Cocktail sauce. No, it's not.
That's it.
I guess it should have been. Coach P, I think you have a good handle on this. Chiefs are 2-0. Andy Reid doing well. Andy Reid, I've never seen him out of this red short sleeve half zip pullover that I think he wore every day of camp. He's wore every game. Do you have a go-to garment on game day that you always wear, you feel like you have to wear, or is it just Hey, here's what's in the closet. I'm wearing it today.
Mix it up. Make sure I contrast from what jersey we're wearing that day.
Simple answer. I thought he'd have like a visor or something.
That was boring.
That wasn't boring. Completely switching gears. I don't think anybody won the lottery last week. It's up to like $425 million. Are you a lottery player? Do you buy lottery tickets?
No.
No. It is illegal to do that. I wasn't trying to bait you into anything. It's illegal to do that.
I don't.
The guy that fake punts once a game and gambles on stuff like that doesn't gamble on.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't,
hey, and
it's not
finally,
that I just don't think about it.
And finally, again, completely out of the box. When 50 years from now, when we're all dead and gone, and they make a movie about the life of Jerry Partridge, who plays you? Who would you like to play you?
Kevin Costner, but he'd be dead too.
Costner would be dead too. Well,
I think I kind of look like Kevin Costner.
If you build it,
Fair enough.
it will come.
I see that kind of.
I'd like that actually. Yeah. Dances with Wolves, Jerry Partridge.
I'm still alive in 30 years.
I said 50.
In your 80s, 50. I'll still be in the 80s.
I don't think there's much chance for me. Well, I was asking who you'd like to play you.
I wouldn't know who the actors are.
Who the hot actors are.
You just ruined this whole segment.
Yeah,
your answers.
Unbelievable.
It's Jerry Partridge. Good luck at Kearney.
Look, Kearney America.
We don't need your wit. We just need a win this weekend. All right.
I hear you.
We'll be right back.
The most helpful physical therapist in the world on rocker shoes.
No.
Leg bone, your leg bone connected to you. Knee bone, your knee bone connected to you. Thigh bone, now hear the word of the Lord.
It's all connected.
Connected to you. Hip bone, your hip bone connected to you. Backbone, your backbone connected to you. Shoulder bone, now hear the word of the Lord.
Out of the shotgun, they're going to throw the back shoulder fade for Jordan. Goes up, makes the catch. Touchdown, Reggie Jordan. Touchdown, Missouri Western.
A week ago, we were looking for a new voice of the Griffins, and guess what? We found him, but it's the same voice. Thank goodness. ESPN 1550's Dave Riggert resigned 2 weeks ago to take a job with the Nebraska-Cornhusker Sports Network. Great career opportunity, but he never even got out of town. Dave changed his mind at the last minute, deciding to stay.
I mean, it was a great opportunity if I would have gone to Nebraska and get my foot in the door of Division I network, but when it was all said and done, it came down to family, and I was going to be home more with the kids and with my wife, staying here, and I can make up for some of that time when I'm at games and stuff like that. But the outpouring of support from the Western community, from the coaching staff to Kurt McGuffin to Dr. Vardabedian to all the staff has been tremendous. All the goal coders have come up, and there was tremendous support when I was leaving. And now that I'm going to stay, there's even been more support. So it was difficult, but it's become pretty easy because of all the support here.
Well, happy to say welcome back. You never left. I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad you're still here too.
Me too. Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to see you too.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Griffin soccer striving to climb above 500. They sit at 2-2 on the young season. Coach Chad Edwards, he wants a more offensive-minded team. Well, he got it last Friday against Wayne State.
Everybody get up.
Record-breaking Friday for Griffin soccer, one that started on a low note, though. No Katie Kemp, out with a right knee injury sustained in practice the day before. Kemp missed most of last season with a torn ACL in her left knee. On paper, Missouri Western dominated Wayne State, but it was a frustrating kind of dominating. Griffin's getting shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. Only problem, nothing going in. This game's scoreless until the 48th minute. That's when Ashley Jurovich ends the drought, her second goal of the season. The Griffins with a school record 29 shots in the game, a school record 14 shots on goal. They made just one, but you know what? That's good enough. 1-0 the final in this one. Griffs improved the record to 2-2 on the season.
It's just frustrating, but you never apologize for winning. You know, you find a way. I'm just proud of us for finding a way. You know, you keep going and keep going and keep going and keep putting pressure on it. Eventually, it's going to go in the back of the net. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those games. It's a game of soccer. It's very humbling.
It's frustrating, but as long as we keep taking those shots, they're going to come sooner or later. We're going to get our break one of these days, and we're just going to put 10 or more in the back of the net, I hope.
That'd be okay.
That would be great.
I would hope you would win that game.
I would hope so, too. That'd be the highest scoring game in soccer.
Meanwhile, Griffin volleyball also opens the conference slate Tuesday at Northwest Missouri State. Marion Carbon's crew must regroup now. They sit at 2-6 on the season after dropping 4 matches last weekend. GSI continues after this.
No no win. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is certainly long enough, and it is certainly perfect. Another field goal by Greg Zuerlein. He is now 5 for 5.
The most helpful physical therapist in the world on field goal kicking.
When the game's on the line, there's no one better than Zuerlein.
Train like the pros, my friends.
Welcome back. GSI's football skill testing continues.
That's right. Spine and Sports' Fred Schunkweiler has more in this week's Train Like the Pros.
All right, we're here with Dalton Chrysler for test number 2 of our functional movement screen. This time it's called the hurdle step test. Again, we're looking at mobility and stability. We have measured Dalton's leg length, and we have set the hurdle relative to his leg length, which we've measured at 17.5. So Dalton's now going to stand. He's got the bar over his head. He's going to balance on one leg. And as he brings the leg up over, we're looking for how stable is the leg he's standing on, but also how mobile is the leg that's having to go over. So he does repetitions of 3. And what we see here, as he comes in, we're looking at the angle of that hip here. In order to get over, I'll do one more time, it's a little bit of rotation, which may be indicating some tightness in that hip rotator on that left side. Very good on stability. He keeps that bar level. Now we're going to switch sides. He's going to do the same thing on the other side, standing on the left leg. And as he goes over that, again, the left leg is being tested from a stability standpoint. The right leg, mobility. Again, a little tightness in his rotators as that angle goes out a little bit in order to balance. We're seeing a little bit more dipping in that bar up above. Not bad though, looks pretty good. So this is a test that looks at the mobility and the stability. We score these tests, and Dalton has scored, on the first test, he scored a 1 on our deep squat test, and on this test, he's going to score a 2. So as we go through these 7 tests, we're going to sum those scores up. That's going to give us a total score. If you want your athlete to get tested for injury prevention, train like the pros at Spine and Sport. At neck deep, 700 cubic centimeters of blood is displaced from the extremities back to the heart. What I'm trying to say is, aquatic therapy gets your blood pumping.
It is our inaugural tailgate of the week. It's the lemon here. Alex, you're the spokesman for this group. What are you cooking today? It's going to be a wild game. It's going to be a wild game. You know we're coming to win. You know we're coming to win. How are your vocal cords? Is this group ready to go? I mean, honestly, we feel a little louder. If you think about it, you probably a little louder. That's the game. Where's your eye black? We see the eye black. Where's your eye black? Honestly, we're going to black out there.
Oh, welcome back. I'd like to say that was a great segment. Couldn't understand.
You know what? I'm disappointed. They were karaokeing. Nobody asked me to karaoke. Obviously, they know how poor I am at that. So
yeah, I think they were busy doing other things.
Hey, Ryan, guess what? You know what time of the show it is?
It's role play.
It's time for role play.
Yes.
We're going to start with you this week. Ryan Minley.
Yes.
Didn't know you were a policy guy. You are Missouri Western's new tailgating policy. Great environment last week. You can now bring alcohol to your tailgate and legally do so.
This is supposed to be role play. I didn't know you could be a policy. But you know what?
You reek of a policy.
I do reek of a policy. I'm Mr. Policy. But I'll tell you what,
Yes,
alcohol at the tailgates, you know, yeah, it's allowed now, of course, if you're 21 or older.
Of course, if you're 21 or older.
But that's something Missouri Western's trying to do a great job of, just creating a game day-like atmosphere, and they've done a nice job of it. That was an unbelievable home opening atmosphere on Saturday, so we encourage it. We encourage you to come tailgate, show up early, leave late, enjoy the Griffin game. All right, Brett
Who do
Easley.
I get to be this week?
Brett
Andy
Easley.
Reid, John Dorsey, Alex Smith?
You are Brett Easley.
Who?
The Royals entering this week 3.5 games out of the wild card.
Yes, they are.
You have been Mr. Negative. You've been Randy Quaid for Major League on that.
Yes.
Fire Ned Yost with a hashtag.
Negative.
They're on pace to have their second winning season in 20 years.
Everybody's negative.
What the hell is the matter with you?
Hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I didn't know what to expect from this Royals team at the beginning of the year. I told you, I would have been happy with 500. I would have been happy with winning. But you know what? It's decisions like Sunday. Jeremy Guthrie gutted through that performance. He was obviously done. Ned Yost usually takes pitchers out of the game so they don't lose. Instead, he puts a pitcher back into the game so he could lose. He sends Carlos Pena to the plate against the Indians. Carlos Pena hasn't been with this team all year. It's decisions like that. We've got a winning baseball team. We're going to have a winning season, but it's reasons like that. So he got fired in Milwaukee with 12 games to go.
So Brett easily manages the Royals to win 100 games.
Sorry, folks.
You're crazy.
Sorry,
you need
folks.
to spend
Park's
more time
closed.
at the tailgate or less time at the tailgate.
Park's closed. This team needs to move on from that manager.
You're harsh, man.
That's what I get for being me.
Well,
Sorry, Ned, it was in the script.
Yeah, well, that wasn't in the script. Hey,
all right. Hey, boy, let's
hey,
go.
nice to see you, Max.
He obviously didn't get the script.
Remember, that's the Pick'em segment championship.
I know we've got a lot of fan mail. People really like that segment. It's award-winning.
But here's the thing,
we can't
it's
do it
dead.
anymore.
We can't do it anymore.
Like
We
disco.
killed that in the middle of last year. The NCAA guy over there said we couldn't do it anymore.
We just,
so
he comes on the show to make sure we don't do anything
Put the belt
wrong.
back and
Put
go.
it back. Relax. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, boy. Temper.
Well, I feel the same way too, but you're not really supposed to do that. Well, that's Eric Kramer's our fun police and our NCAA compliance guy.
Really,
anything
what do we screw up
this week?
All right, guys. You can't reference the Pick'em segment again. That's going to get you fired.
Oh, stunning.
You can't say anything negative about Ned Yost.
It's a family show, I guess. I'm sorry.
You can't say hell.
Okay.
That was him.
It's good to
that
know.
was him,
That was
too,
me.
by the way. Yeah.
And Max, he's got in his contract where you can't be physically assaulted or emotionally harmed in any way.
Okay.
We'll take note of that. We've only done that the last 25 shows, but
thank you.
Yeah, we've only done that the last
Appreciate
25
that.
shows.
You're absolutely no fun.
Okay.
Well, that's GSI for this week.
Yeah, boy.
No fun version.
No fun version. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We're gold. Go Griffs.